I just started us. And we live.
And we live in this piece.
What's up, fam? What's up? What's up? It's your girl, Nick. What's up, Pat?
It's your boy Pat. What's going on, Nick?
Lord Jesus, what's not going on? Uh, too much, too much, too
For real,
much,
for real.
too much. Every time I think one thing is handled, something else happens. And yeah,
Such is life.
it is life.
Such is
But
life.
I wish I was rich so this stuff wouldn't bother me so much.
We're gonna make it through it.
We are. As you guys can see, we are, well, I'm not in studio tonight. I woke up not feeling well, so I worked from home today. But um I I felt so inclined that I didn't want to not do a show tonight. So
That's commitment.
it
That's
is.
commitment. Oh, and by the way, thank you for holding me down last week. Just as a matter of accountability to all of our viewers, I actually had a meeting. We're getting ready to go into our next fiscal calendar year for ministry, and we were preparing. We have it's coming up this Saturday, but we had to prepare the meeting before the week before. So just thank you for holding me down, and then to all of our viewers, I missed you guys. So um, I already know what went down into the live, but just want to say great show last week, ma'am. But thank you for holding me down. I appreciate that.
I mean, we a team. I got you. That's
Yeah.
what we do. Um, so we've been discussing hot topics this month. And we kind of, when we do hot topics, it's because we I don't know about Pat, but I get so many questions and random questions and stuff about different things. And so when we do a hot topics, we're trying to cover all of the question content that we've been getting. So it's been all over the place this year, well, this month, but that's because we're trying to be responsive of the information that you guys are telling us that's important to you. So,
Yeah.
um, Pat and I have been talking about two things uh, a lot over the past few weeks: being enough and letting go. So, tonight we're going to focus on I am enough and letting go. Pat, I am enough.
Oh wow. I used to have a signature tag when I would send out emails. I don't know if you remember, it was a long time ago. But I used to tell people, I wish you enough. Every time I would end an email or something, I would always say, I wish you enough. And the reason why I would send that is because as a man, I've always felt like that we sometimes are only measured by how we perform. It's kind of like being in the sales industry. You're only as good as your last month. And no matter how consistent you've been month over month, year over year, you have one time to fall off. And that one time then becomes like in my world in corporate America, it's called a PIP. And they put you on a personal intervention plan if you fall below standard in 1 month. You could have been consistent 11 months and fall below standard in 1 month, and they put you on a personal intervention plan for the next 6 months. And so it kind of makes you feel like that were never enough. But to say it on a wider lens, of course, we know it is relational as it relates to us feeling like that we are enough. But had a conversation just even this past weekend about someone that was triggered sitting in the parking lot with her significant other. And there was a lady that was pushing a cart that was coming toward his car. She raised her hand to hit him because she thought he was looking at the woman. He said, "No, I'm looking at this basket getting ready to ram into my car." So, of course, she then had to admit that she was triggered by her past because a guy that she dated always was looking at other women and was always eyeing women, even when they were out together, and making it very known that he was looking at those women. So again, she was triggered. But I said one thing to her, and I'm going to give it the floor right back. I told her, I said, one of the challenges that I deal with as it relates to people in relationships, even as I counsel, even in my own personal life, is that you have people that have the audacity to be triggered by their past, but demand that their partner be healed.
Mm.
And so I told her, how long has it been since you've dated that guy? And if you guys have been together, at least you talking about a decade of being with one man that has proven to you that he only has eyes for you, and you're still triggered by something from your past, segue, you might want to let that go.
You might want to let that go. Well, I am enough.
Yes, you come on.
Just to be transparent, I struggle with that so much, and I still struggle with that. Am I enough? And so when we are responding to that question, we are responding to what value is being placed on us as a person, in whole, complete person. And so when we're saying that we're not enough, or we're questioning, are we enough? We're simply questioning the value that society and other people are placing on us. And so what I had to, what my struggle has been, I'm an only child, I'm a Black female. A lot of times I'm the only Black person in the circles that I'm in. I have for many times been the only one educated to the extent that I'm educated in some circles that I'm in. I have, and so I always struggle with, am I enough? Because just inherently, as Black people, we always would.
I said, not as us as Black people. Come on now.
As us as Black people, we have to be more than everybody else. We have to be better than everybody else. We have to have more credentials. We have to be more above board. We have to be more cognizant of a lot of things just because we're us. So for me, it created an issue because I never thought I was enough. And it wasn't until probably my late 30s that I finally got to the point where I felt like I was enough. And it wasn't until my 50s, and I'm only 51. It wasn't until my 50s that I really got confident in me being enough. But, and Pat knows this because we talk about a lot of stuff. But there are moments where I still struggle with being enough because I'm still struggling in some areas about what value I have and what I'm bringing to the table, and sometimes I don't accept myself. So when we're considering this whole notion of I am enough, you have to be mindful that you being enough is all about what inherent value and self-acceptance you have for yourself.
Statistically, I don't know if anybody know this, but this is a proven fact. And I know this is not data that I'm going to tell you that you're surprised by. When you deal with, as far as a group or a certain class of people that feels like they're the most unseen, unheard, and undervalued, is successful, single Black women. Watch this. Let me sit up in my chair. One thing that we have to think is people are not, and I know the people they don't like to hear this, but but you could be ever so impressive and still be unseen. Mm-hmm. You could have skill, talent, ability. You could be articulate. You could be attractive. You could dress well. You could speak well. You could wear the most alluring of fragrances, and you could permeate a room, and it'll be a whole hour after you leave out that people still won't be able to get your scent out of their nostrils. And yet they still won't remember who you are. They still won't know what you bring or what you yield, because here is one question that a lot of people fail to ask. And one of the things that I love about conversations with Nick and Pat is that we cover both sides of the coin. We deal with both the positive and the negative, because the reality is, if you only tell me my good and never expose me to the areas where I need to improve and grow and develop, then how do I do that? Because I walk away from the table thinking that it's always all good, and sometimes it's not. Can I give you one question that you should start asking yourself? And this is both male and female. And I tell people, what if relationships came with a survey? What if your life came with a survey? Because we live in a survey-driven industry. If you get off the phone with somebody at Southwestern Bell, at AT&T, at Comcast, Xfinity, or any place, they're going to say, can I send you a one-question survey? Can I send you this? Because they are driven by that to know, how did I perform? And here's the question that you want to ask yourself that people really don't like to ask, because some of us really don't want the truth to this question. How do people feel being in my presence? Even with all of my accomplishments, all of my degrees, all of my abilities, everything that I bring all of that to the table, and yet you might understand that you are just not a good person to be around. From your energy, from your attitude, from the way, and again, I just gave an illustration. You got somebody that is triggered, but demanding that she date somebody that is healed. Mm-hmm. I put a statement out yesterday, even on my page, where I said, this is a sad reality, but it is a truth all the same, that there are women that will not date the male version of themselves. If you met a man that came to the table with the amount of deficits that you personally have, you would not date him. I know women that are $300,000 in debt, have to have shared income between multiple people to be able to survive. Literally got physical ailments. They got body cargo that they brought from other relationships. They got, and I'm not joking about this, and still have the audacity to demand. Now, you $300,000 in debt, but you want a man that makes six figures. Why would I ever align my debt to you when I know that whatever you owe them becomes my debt? But it's the question. So when we asking the question, am I enough? Here is the thing. In the sense of what Nick just said, let me tell you why she was able to come to that conclusion. Because Nick said, I've done my shadow work. Wait. I put the mirror to my face. Wait. I didn't need nobody to tell me that I had something in the corner of my eye. I looked in the mirror and I took that wash rag. In other words, I cleaned my face. I made sure that before I put a demand on anybody, this is what I'm also bringing to the table. Same grace, same expectation, same principles apply. If you can give, I can give. If you can love, I can love. If you can appreciate, I can appreciate. I'm about equity. I'm about fairness. I'm in this with you. I'm going to show you that I'm riding, not dying. I don't care what you're about, ride or die. I don't want you to die with me. We got too much to live for.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just ride and ride till the damn wheels fall off. Let's make something happen. A woman asked a question the other day on the internet. She's like, why do men become everything that you want them to be when you no longer want them? Another woman responded the same reason, that women only go to the gym, fix themselves up, better their credit, better their life, get a better job, improve themselves once their relationship has ended. What if we took that same attitude and put that into the relationship? When I'm looking at, and we're going to use each other. When I'm looking at Nick and I'm praying for Nick, I'm saying, God, okay, I see what she's after. I see where she's going. Align me. Give me the things that's needed to help her accomplish what she needs to accomplish. Women, you have to understand that you give birth both naturally and spiritually. When that man seeds his dream into you, baby, give birth to it. When that man sees what he wants next to come, because really, to be honest, sometimes people don't realize that what most men just want to be is of service. You don't believe me? Let's prove it. Go outside right now and purposely, by accident, drop stuff out of your purse and see how many men is willing to pick it up and give it to you. Because we are wired to be of service. The problem is when the feeling becomes entitlement versus appreciation.
Well,
that's why I asked the question, are you a good person? How do people feel being around you?
And we've talked about that whole entitlement thing. Like, that is just, I get so sick of people and their entitlement. Like, you are not owed anything. Nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything in this world. You get what you put out. Like, that old saying, you get what you pay for. It's the same thing about life. If you don't, what's the scripture? You reap what you sow. You sow what you. Oh crap! What you reap what you sow.
Yeah, you reap what you sow.
And so,
be not deceived. God is not mocked, for that a man soweth, that shall he also reap. Let me quote it, because we might have some people online. They just misquoted all that scripture. They don't even know their Bible.
I'm putting this up here. If you don't pour out anything but negative, you spew negative, you are taker, you don't do anything, you don't solicit anything. If you do all of that, of course that's what you're gonna get back. Hey Joy, I think you should be more concerned in how you feel in your own presence. If you are uncomfortable sitting with yourself, there's the area to make adjustments. Yes, and yes. Yes, Jay. Yes. If you can't even stand to be in the room by yourself, it's something wrong with you, for real. Because if you can't be in a room with yourself, then you are not enough at all on any level, you should at least be able to look at yourself in the mirror and spend some time in your own presence, and know that you positive and not negative, and know that people want to be around you. If you get uncomfortable just being in a room by yourself, that means your energy way off. Pat got real quiet on me.
No, I'm listening. I'm with it.
Ooh, that speaks volumes. That yeah, that I just want that to resonate with some people. You should be more concerned in how you feel in your own presence. If you are uncomfortable sitting with yourself, there's the area to make adjustments.
I was asked one day about, somebody asked me one day, they was like, why are you still single? You're a handsome guy, you're very talented. And that's when they went down the list. And I said, because here is the thing. I said, I enjoy my own presence. And I said, and I'm waiting to commit to a relationship when I find someone that I enjoy being in their presence just as much as I enjoy being in my own. When I leave a session with me, I don't feel depleted.
Exactly.
I don't feel exhausted. Because I'm going to tell some of you something, really, to be honest, you're going, listen, when you keep exhausting the person that you're in relationship with, prepare to lose them to the person that causes them to breathe. You keep thinking you got it sold up and locked in and in place and ain't going, okay, all right. Don't say I didn't warn you. Don't say I didn't tell you. I'm telling you the real. You keep exhausting somebody every time they're with you, you're sucking the life out of them. Everything with you is heavy. Nothing is ever light. Nothing is ever fun. Nothing is ever joyful. People got to sit outside in the driveway and collect themselves before they come in the house. The devil is a lie in his twin cousin.
So, I am enough.
Come on.
I am enough.
And that is a declaration. That is a declaration that goes beyond, again, things that you have amassed. It's not about what you've accomplished. It's not about a degree. It's not about what type of car you drive. It's not, hell, I drive a nice car that was smoking on the way home. And it gave me a message and said, please turn your engine off before you destroy it. It was saying it in a real nice way.
I am enough. I am enough. So when you get to that point, doesn't mean that your work is over. It just means that you have to be more intentional about maintaining the work that you've done, because you always want to be enough. You want to know that you are enough. So then
people always love being in big rooms. And we all aspire to do that, to be in big rooms. But the biggest room that you'll ever be in is improvement. Always work on you.
It's a constant thing. The work never stops. And so kind of transition into how to let go. Well, when you know your worth, you know your value, you know what you're bringing to the table, you're comfortable with what you're bringing to the table, then it becomes, I don't want to say it's easy to let go, but it becomes easier to let some things go, if that makes sense. because if you know what you are, who you are, what you're bringing to the table, your likes, your dislikes, you're bringing your authentic self, you can stop fighting with your inner child, and you can let those other things go, because that's about accepting the reality of the moment. So if you know somebody is not good for you, and you know the reality of that, you can let that go because it doesn't align with who you are authentically. That's a self-worth conversation. You have to be willing to choose what's best for you in the situation. You can't put someone in front of you at the risk of yourself and your own well-being. Yes, Joy.
Thing that I discovered, especially when I started doing trauma counseling and dealing one-on-one with people, because trauma is not what happened to you. Trauma is your response to it. So we need to be very aware of that. Some of us, we want to talk about trauma, but I don't think we really know what trauma is. And when we talk about trauma bonding, it is not two people that are coming together because they have like pains or have gone through similar things in the past. That's not what trauma bonding is. However, when you just ask a simple question, even when it relates to, like she just said, letting things go, a good question to ask yourself is, first of all, why are you still carrying it? Mm-hmm. And here is one of the reasons why I discovered that some people are still carrying it. And believe it or not, I'm gonna let this sit for a minute before somebody want to argue the point. For whatever reason, there is a great influx of people, and we're literally inundated with people that believe that the person who broke me, they owe me to get it right with me. And so even though you know you shouldn't still be there, and everything in you is saying, why are you still here? You are there because you feel that that person owes you to get it right. So you dare not end a relationship and then watch them be happy with somebody else or do well by somebody else or get it right with somebody else. So we have this thing. And I'm going to tell you, man, when I tell you that closure is so overrated, God, closure is so overrated. I literally walked into my job one day, part-time at a store. And I walked in one day, they called me and asked me to come to the office. I had no knowledge of why I was going into the office. All I know is when I got in there, there was two managers in the office and a piece of paper sitting on the desk. I assumed that was my we good letter. Like, you can go into the house because, you know, I people say I do what I want around there, and I do. But that's neither here nor there. But I walked in and I grabbed the pen and I leaned over the desk and I said, "Am I fired?" And she was like, No. We just want to talk to you about something we need you to do for us. And I'm like, oh. I said, okay. And I sat down. She says, well, why were you finna just sit up the sign? I said, because if we're done, we're done. Mm-hmm. I don't want to have a conversation about why we done. We're done. If this is over, it's over. I was going to sign it and walk out the door. I wasn't going to sit here and hear no long conversation about, and I really expected you to be here on time and you came a couple of days late and you didn't clock it out. I don't want to hear none of that. I don't want to hear none of that. You can keep all of that and tell that to the next person as y'all pillow talking about me. I'm going to the house. We are done. And so the reality is that might seem to some degree, well, you didn't love them, or that was selfish, or you really wasn't invested, or you really wasn't. No, that person that just gave the comment, the truth of the matter is y'all, the person that you're going to spend the most time with in your life is you. And I can't You don't get to break me and then live rent free in my head. And I got to carry this around with me every day, all day, and wonder. No, I mean, really, we do too much talking about the people who hurt us, relationships that ended, the folks that betrayed us, mistakes that we made, things that we wish that we had said and done in the moment, opportunities that we missed, disappointments, angers, resentment, the version of ourselves that we used to be. Baby, oh, quit it. Stop. Listen, I'm even the type of person, don't be sitting around here size 16 and you still got a dress in your closet when we was a size 4. You ain't been a size 4 in 15 years. Throw it away. I'm going to get back down to that size. Okay, well, when you get back down there, buy another 4. In the meantime, go get you some 16s and be happy. Go by McDonald's, use your apps, and get nuggets with a drink for free. I'm just saying, be happy.
In other words, stop trying to control.
Come on.
What you cannot control. Then it'll be easier for you to let it go.
And Nick, can you type this in? Letting go doesn't mean that it didn't matter.
How did you know I was going to go there?
Letting go doesn't mean that it didn't matter. Letting go doesn't mean it didn't hurt. Letting go don't mean that what they did was acceptable. Letting go doesn't mean that you weren't betrayed. Letting go doesn't mean that you should have done something different. Letting go don't mean that we even have to reconcile with somebody. And letting go don't mean that you have to forget it.
Right. There's, we talked about forgiveness and reconciliation before, and there's a big difference. Forgiveness is about just letting that person free of whatever the ought was because you want to be free. Reconciliation is you both decide to mend the relationship after the forgiveness happens. Just because I forgive you doesn't mean I have to reconcile with you. I can forgive you and go on about my life and be free to be me. It doesn't mean I have to reconcile. So when you let something go, it doesn't mean that you're negating the fact that it happened. It doesn't mean that you're saying it wasn't deliberate. It doesn't mean that it's not going to come up from time to time in your memory bank. It just means you're letting it go. All of these posts that have been on social media about Agent Orange, always worried about POTUS number 44. That's when we are talking about people living rent free in your head. Like my forever POTUS is living rent free in Agent Orange's head. Because Agent Orange can't let stuff go. It is stuff that it's stuff that shouldn't even matter at this point. You should be focused on doing the work of this country. But because you can't let ish go, it's just rambling. Y'all, don't be Agent Orange. Let this stuff go. Let it go. Free your mind so the rest can follow. Be colorblind. Don't be shallow.
Come on, that's amazing. You got to get to the place where you refuse to allow something that you cannot change to continue to control something that you still have the power to change. Mm-hmm. And that is just a real thing. Acceptance is not the same thing as approval. Acceptance is not the same thing as approval. Acceptance is not the same thing as approval. Letting go can mean accepting reality so that you can redirect your energy toward what is actually within your control. Just because I accept something, that don't mean I approve it.
Mm-hmm.
I realize I ain't nothing I can do about it. I can't change it. It is what it is. This is it. This is it. This is it.
One of the best things I ever did for myself is learn how to let ish go. And the reason that was such a positive step for me is because it allows me to move on with my life. If I were still holding on to all of the things that has happened to me in my life, I would not be able to function. I would be sick. I would be probably half out of my mind. I wouldn't be the fun person everybody says that they like to be around. I wouldn't be chopping it up with Pat and just cracking up for no apparent reason as to just be cracking up.
Just to be.
But when I gave myself permission to let things go, that allowed me to be free.
Wow. Wow.
So give yourself permission to let this stuff that you cannot control go.
Can I give you an important reason why we got to do that too, Nick?
Because you don't want to die from no heart attack.
You ever seen two people connect only because of that need?
Ooh.
Let me ask the question, then what do you do once the need has been fulfilled? And that's where a lot of people end up. I had a man, there was a guy that read a letter that said that he was no longer attracted to his wife. And when he realized that the reason why they actually got together is no longer a need for him, then he's now waking up, and this is what some of you did. You were lonely and somebody was available and you connected with them out of that need of loneliness, or you just need whatever that need was, and somebody was there to fulfill that need. And one day you woke up out of your sleep and you rolled over and looked over your shoulder and started singing these words. How did you get here?
Yeah.
Nobody supposed, not supposed. She says nobody's supposed to be here. I've tried that love thing for the last time. My heart says no. Because the reality is that now that I'm healed eyes see differently. And now that whatever it was that I was seeing in you no longer is a need for me, now I'm seeing all of the things in you that I really don't like. And because my overwhelming need was screaming, feed me, then once I got full, I no longer need it. And then I began to recognize that you really are selfish and narcissistic, and you really aren't a good lover, and you really don't come home at night, and you really don't make me a priority, and you really don't flirt with me. And because oh God, why am I going here? Because one thing that people really going to understand, that the most powerful thing that you can have, watch this. Y'all think that it takes me talking to somebody every day, all day. No, not when you got, not when you have connection. You ought to be able to be in a relationship so to the point that you two can have a conversation without words even being spoken. There's a body signal that she ought to be able to give you in a crowded room, that you ought to be able to look at that body signal and know when you get home tonight, through the mattress, nigga, through the mattress. Y'all ought to have a language all of your own. You will be able to say a cue and walk up and know I'm ready to go without saying I'm ready to go. Baby, what time does that restaurant close again? I'm ready to go. You have your own language, your own communication style, but you know what you have deeper than anything? You have connection. And really, to be honest, that's what makes things thrive. That's what you don't believe me? Okay, let's try it. Go to a dealership. Any one of them that you want. Get the most highest valued vehicle that you can find. And take that vehicle and don't put a battery in it and see how well it works. You got a TV, they hung it up on the wall. They did all of it, put it in the studs, got the brackets, and it's on a swivel. It can turn and move with directions. Don't plug it in and see how many channels you see. I don't care what you name, everything that has a value for you to understand its usefulness, it first must be connected. Woman calls the store complaining about her computer that she spent all this money for that don't work. She's telling the man the screen is black. Did you push this button? I pushed this button. Did you do this? They went down all of the list of things that was going on. And finally, the man asked one question. He says, ma'am, can you look down and see where the plug is on it? She said, it's just hanging. He says, so you didn't plug it in? And no matter what its capabilities are, no matter all of the amenities that it can provide, the truth of the matter is that it must first be connected. And without connection,
well, on that note, we're going to say peace.
Let me get to him, Nick. Let me get to him.
It's coming. It's coming. On that note, we finna be out, y'all. Like, really, truly, y'all got to have some connection. But it requires connection with yourself first. Connection with yourself first.
You can't be dropping bombs on the way out the door. You don't just do that. We just where we do that at? We just drop stuff on the way out the door.
We drop it right here. Be connected to yourself first. Just know that. We see y'all next week.
And make sure that you lock the door when you connect with yourself.
Ooh. We out, y'all. Thanks, Angelo.
Oh, I'm stupid.
Yes, you are.
They gonna shut us down. They gonna shut our show down. They gonna shut us down.
Well, wouldn't be me if they didn't.
Just make sure you lock the door.